I found it while walking home. I was taking a shortcut through an alley when I saw it, nestled among the trash bags. The television looked like it was some 80 years old. A large wooden cabinet with a small 15-inch screen in the upper center. It had a few knobs on the side for changing the channel and volume. I've always liked antiques, and this looked really cool. Valuable even. I picked it up, it was surprisingly light, and took it home. I knew it probably wouldn't even work, and even if it did, I wouldn't be able to get a signal. I don't know much about TVs, but I did know that the older ones used analog signals that hadn't been online since 2009. I looked at the plug at the back of the TV, and I felt a little disappointed. The plug looked completely different from all the modern ones. That's when I noticed something. There was a small compartment on the back of the TV, and inside it was an adapter. I felt pretty relieved, because now I could test it out after all. I doubted it even worked. After all, who would throw out a functioning antique television? I plugged in the adapter and then the TV. I pressed the power button and, to my surprise, it sprang to life. A loud fizz of static permeated the room. This made sense after all. There weren't any analog channels. Even so, it was still cool to have My thoughts were interrupted as the static started to fade. The first thing I noticed was how dark the room became. Natural light previously filled the room, but now it was as dark as midnight. The only light in the room came from the glowing white screen. Clearly, something was wrong, but I was completely enraptured by the screen. The static slowly faded. A young man in his 20s stood staring directly at me. He was smiling a sort of fake smile that creeped me out. "When I'm feeling thirsty," he announced proudly, "I always have a nice drink of sugar liquid." The man appeared and was replaced with a bottle of a deep crimson liquid. "Purchase one of our fine products today at a store near you. Now for only 49 cents, a voice said. It was one of those generic 1940s narrator voices. "To test it out, try one of our free samples now." I was in a trance. I reached into the TV. To my surprise, my hand went right through the screen. The inside felt wet and fizzy, like I was dipping my hands in soda. I touched the bottle. Its coldness snapped me out of it. I yanked my hand out and jabbed the power button. Instantly, the sun came back out, and the darkness receded. However, around the TV, there was a circle around it that was bleached white. I was completely shocked. All I knew was that I didn't want this thing in my apartment. I didn't want it to exist at all. My apartment is on the 12th floor of my building, so I doubted it would survive the fall. I opened the window and chucked it out. That was a relief. I had no clue what the heck just happened. All I knew was that I was dead tired, and there was work in the morning. Somehow, hours had passed since I first turned on the TV. I went to bed trying not to think about what just happened. I awoke at 6:53 to noises. I was surprised because my alarm wasn't set until 7. To my horror, the noise was a voice. I ran to the living room and there it was. The white, bleached circle had expanded enough to creep up the wall. The windows were completely dark again. The TV seemed to be showing the weather, but I didn't care. I yanked the plug out, the TV went dark, but I knew it wouldn't stay that way forever. I forgot all about work. All I knew was that this thing wouldn't leave me alone. I highly doubted that it had somehow survived the fall without a dent. This TV was cursed. I put it in the backseat of my car. I was going to take it someplace where it could never harm me again. It turned on again in the back seat. I turned around. The screen was a blinding white color, and the crimson liquid in that bottle from earlier was spilling out of the screen. "You look thirsty." The voice came through a roar of static and sparks. "Cool off with the refreshing sugar liquid." The image of several overturned bottles appeared on the screen. Their contents were spilling out of the TV. I turned around to jab the power button. It turned on again almost immediately. In other news, it is recommended to watch at least 24 hours of television a day. At this point, I pressed the off button and smashed the screen. It shattered into a million pieces. My hand was cut and bleeding, but I didn't care. That would shut it up, at least for a little while. I knew where I was taking it. I arrived back at the dumpster where I had found it. I plopped it in without a second thought. By now, the screen had repaired itself. It turned back on. A list of numbers appeared on the screen. "We hope you enjoy your experience with our product. Please rate your experience from 19 to 42. I turned it off again, but it immediately turned itself back on and repeated the message. Hesitantly, I reached in. I grabbed the number 19 and pulled it out of there. "Thank you for your rating. Have a nice day." At this, the TV just disappeared. I looked at the piece of paper in my hand. To my surprise, it started to move. It wiggled over to the dumpster. To my shock, it twisted and changed until it became a television. It turned on. "Your feedback has been monitored. Thank you for helping us improve our methods." At this, it shut itself off. I ran away and never looked back. I don't know what just happened. If my feedback somehow improved the method of luring people into it, I really hope nobody finds it. Who knows what happens if you do go fully inside it. The sugar liquid still stained my car seat. I spent a long time scrubbing it off. Thankfully, my living room reverted to normal after the whole ordeal. I don't know if other people in my city have been through this. Maybe I was the first to find it, or if it's been slowly improving its tactics over several years. Either way, it is dangerous. If you find something like it in a dumpster, especially if it's in mint condition, run. Don't look back. I'm lucky to have survived. I don't think the next person to find it will.